So now we have two problems in our weather chatbot application, which is the first problem is that the user here types anything he wants, and then the temperature and the description or the weather forecast will be returned to him or her. And we don't want that. We want to let the user specify the city that he wants to get its weather forecast. And also here we are returning weather forecast of New York City, and we don't want that. We want to return the weather forecast of any city, of basically of the city that the user lives in or interested in knowing its weather forecast. So how can we do that? How can we kind of be clear with the user and let the user know that this is a chatbot weather application, and kind of prompt the user to type and give us the city that he wants to know its weather conditions. So to do that, first of all, to do that, we need in our HTML, in our index.html, we need to send an initial message instead of here hi there. You can first say hi there, and then you can display another message that says which city do you want to know its weather conditions or forecast, and then the user should type a city. So now we are clear, and also here you can type weather chatbot application, and on top of that we want to get the city from the user. So the user here is going to type user text. The user here should type actually a city. So this user text should be the city. So we need to get it. We need to get that city and then pass it. We already have, by the way, we already have it here, because this user text is basically the text that the user has typed here. So the user is going to type here a city. And once the user provides the city to us, we want instead of passing New York City each time we make a request, we need to pass the city that the user is going to provide us. So I'm going to say here user text, which is basically the city that the user is going to provide us. So now we will be able to make a request and get a weather condition of a specific city, a city that the user wants to know its weather forecast. And finally, we just return the result to the user. Now, if you save and if you head on over back to your browser and refresh, you'll find that it's different. As you can see here, we have weather chatbot application, and then here it says hi there, and then which city rather do you want to know its weather condition or weather forecast. So I'm going to type here, for example, San Diego, and then I'm going to hit enter or click on send, and guess what? Now it's going to return the temperature and the description of the weather in San Diego. So it worked, and now let me type something else. Instead of San Diego, let's type I don't know, let's say Los Angeles, and then let me hit enter, and now it's going to return the temperature and the weather condition or description of the weather in Los Angeles. So it worked, and by the way, again, you can display more information and you can customize the message that you want to return to the user. So you don't have to return just this, you can customize this. You can customize this in the index.html. Instead of using this p and span, you can use other elements. And here, instead of typing temp, you can type temperature. So here you can type temperature instead, and you can here say conditions, conditions, and of course you can get conditions. You can get more information, such as the humidity if you wish to display the humidity, the pressure. So the humidity, for example, if you want to display the humidity, you would say you would first access the main and then the humidity. So I'm gonna first here I'm gonna say plus, and then here another plus, and then I'm gonna say humidity. And then in order to access the humidity, basically we need to say here data and then dot main and then dot humidity. And now if you save, and of course here we need to add plus. Now if you save and refresh, guess what? You should get the humidity as well. So for example, I'm going to say again San Diego and then send, and it's going to return the temperature, the conditions, and also the humidity. And by the way, we need to add here some space, humidity. Let me refresh one more time and say San Diego, and let me send. And as you can see now, it says temperature, conditions, and then humidity. So it worked and it looks awesome. And here let me just make sure that I'm getting the correct weather forecasts. I'm going to say here San Diego, and the humidity should be 77. So here it's 77, so it's correct. And finally, once you have changed all of these things, you need to run your Python file, because sometimes it might not work here, and it might just keep loading your page and it might not work. So sometimes you would have to change to run your Python file. And also don't forget to comment these two lines out, because we don't want to train our chatbot. If you keep training your chatbot, it's gonna take a lot of time. I'm just here commenting these out, these lines out, because I don't want to use them for now. But other than this, it worked, and now as you can see, our application is a weather chatbot application that is specialized in something, which is awesome.